This is Radio Tweed's Book of Boobs, those that have survived, that is. So many have been transmitted live, and only a few of those ones have been recorded for posterity. One, though, Andrew found, much to his horror, that the tape he wanted wasn't in the machine when he wanted it.
Hello again, this is Andrew Jones and Colin White with the Thursday edition of Morning Magazine on BBC Radio Tweed.
And in this morning's programme, fresh plans from Borders Health Board for Hawick.
Y6 Border primary schools are the toast of Scottish gas.
We take a walk along the old Roman road of Deer Street.
And there's a good reason why you might hear them at this noise. Well, they haven't got this noise, but a noise anyway. You'll be hearing it later on at this time of year.
We'll be returning to Andrew's live fluffs later, but for now, here's a couple of pretty clear questions which, unfortunately, didn't produce particularly clear answers.
Geordie, can you tell me when you first joined Walkerburn Rugby Club?
You must be quite hopeful then in 1985.
Oh, well, I am hopeful.
Somebody gives what they call an oration every year. This year it's to be the Liberal MP for Roxburgh and Berwickshire, Archie McCulloch.
Now, forget about the answers. Here's a couple of duff questions.
Now, what effect does soil acidity have on the effectiveness of nitrogen?
Well, good morning, Robert. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Now, could you describe your operation?
Is any of your collection very valuable?
Well,
right. Sorry, just hold on a minute.
I'll have one or two.
Just hold on a second now.
Staying with Colin, he discovers the problems of interviewing outside.
Quentin, we're on the section of Deer Street near Lilliard's Edge, and it's a very heavily wooded part of the road, and there's a just passing over.
A change of direction now. Here's an extract from the diary, which Erica didn't have time to cut, which is exactly why it was saved, in which she shows a hitherto undiscovered talent for poetry.
It's quite a hefty 10-mile hike, so you'll need to be fairly fit. While over at the Woodland Centre on Lothian Estates by Jedburgh... Oh, shit.
This one actually went out.
The guest speaker for this Sunday's meeting is to be Dr. Murray Campbell of the Department of Physics at Edinburgh University, and he's actually been involved in studying the way atoms and electrons collide. This work has interesting implications for the way in which living organisms evolved on Earth. It sounds mind-boggling to me, but if you'd like to find out more about it...
Here's Bob Burgess, too, showing a fascination with matters sexual.
What will the public be able to come to your association with any complaints they have against your members?
Still with the Burgess, he starts this interview off on the wrong foot.
Gordon Clark, Thorndean, St. Boswell's.
Mr. Dean, what can you tell me about this morning's incident?
Here he shows a good deal of perseverance, although not much else, when given a particularly difficult script to read.
As the magazine has not hitherto received that support necessary to render it remunerative... As the magazine has not hitherto received the support necessary to render it remunerative... As the magazine has not hitherto received the support necessary to render it remunerative... I'll have to come back to that one, I think, can I? As the magazine has not hitherto... As the magazine has not hitherto received any support necessary to render it remunerative... Oh, Jesus Christ. What did he use these big words nowadays for?
From Bob Burgess to Bill Johnson and a pre-recorded rugby preview.
There's no doubt at all where the centre of attraction is this weekend. It's at the Greenyards Melrose, where the south of Scotland play their second game of the season, this time against the Irish provincial champions Leinster. And I'm going to wait to put in my false tooth, because I'm hissing away like a snake. I've just discovered I've got my tooth in. There's no doubt at all where the centre of attraction is this weekend. It's at the Greenyards Melrose, where the south of... There's no doubt at all where the centre of attraction is this weekend.
Makes a bit of like playing those though.
There's no doubt at all where the centre of attraction is this weekend. It's at the Greenyards, Melrose, where the south of Scotland play their second game of the season. This time it's against the Irish provincial champions, Leinster. Now, those of you who get along to see the match will have a galaxy of rugby stars in front of you. Oh, bugger the phone.
And the phone call he set afterwards was from me to find out if he'd recorded the rugby preview yet. This time, Caroline is sending a piece up the line to Radio Scotland about Greystoke. She reads the cue and then does something rather nasty, I think, to Colin.
And here's some cue material on the front of it if you're running. You can hardly have failed to notice the great burst of publicity over the last few days for Greystoke, a brand new film which has its press preview tomorrow, that's Thursday, before going on show to the public in London on Friday. And we Scots can claim some of the glory, as Alistair Campbell reports. Piece in 5. Hang on a sec, Colin.
Now we return to the master of the unscripted fluff, Andrew Jones. In this insert, he typed the wrong thing on his script.
And we attend meetings at national level to discuss common problems of running information centres throughout Scotland.
Riddle Graham, Assistant Director of the Tourist Board. He's had Assistant Director of Planning down here, that's not right. It's coming round to 7 minutes to 6. Not, 7 minutes to 8. It's often a complete muddle here. 7 minutes to 8.
The more he went on, the bigger he dug the hole. In this one, he couldn't remember the name of his live guest.
Have fun.
Thank you, Erica, and some new music for this week's live music guide. Right, we'll be finding out about the Untamed and the other group, whose name I have completely forgotten at this very second. The Outfit. They're sitting here pulling faces at me, thinking, how on earth have I forgotten? How could I, with a T-shirt that says the Outfit on as well? We're finding out about them in just a sec. Before that, though, here's Jefferson's Starship.
In the next extract, Andrew puts the wrong tape on during Morning Magazine, and when he realises his mistake, stops the tape and, goddamn him, opens my mic. Listen closely. The more unusual way of getting a regular income is Dr. Bernardo's industrial appeal. David Renfrew of Bernardo's has been telling Elizabeth Irving about the origins of the scheme.
What sort of work can you do at this time of year? It is wet and it's misty.
Let's put it back. Sorry about that. We'll come on to that one in a minute. Later in the same programme, Andrew makes a meal of the weather forecast. First of all, he gives a topography forecast and then casts doubts on the whole business of being truthful about the weather. I mean, who would believe this?
Under the weather forecast for the Borders, it's going to be a mild start to the day, but mostly hilly, and it will be cloudy at first with some mist and perhaps a smirching of drizzle, whatever that means. During the morning, it will become more generally dry and bright, with a little sunshine in the
Finally, the daddy of them all. Imagine, Radio Solway's launched 2 years ago. All the bigwigs, Alistair Milne and co, gathered next door listening. Ian McConnell really puts his foot in it.
This is BBC Radio Solway, broadcasting in VHF and serving the Dumfries and Galloway region. I'm Ian McConnell and I welcome you to this first afternoon programme which marks the official opening of BBC Radio Tweed. Radio Solway, sorry. Just a few moments ago...